What's up, Raiders? TristenWulf here, and free unequipped. Thank God plarium's finally starting to listen and is doing something, finding ways to help us in this silver drought, because the silver drought is profound. And man, I'm feeling it hard. This fusion event, look at this. Isn't this pathetic? 3 million silver. I don't know how I'm going to make it through this gear event that's coming up, but we're going to give it our best, guys. But today I want to talk about the buffs that have been revealed. We have a post about the buffs that are coming, so let's go ahead and talk about these units. First unit is in the Ogryn tribe, and it is the unit Diamant Coppercoin. Diamant, despite his bejeweled appearance and the crown upon his head, is not exactly a fan favorite. In fact, let's look at these 256 reviews, and this is the kind of hero that you pull and you see the gold flash and you get all excited, and then he pops out and you just go, I'm out of here. Is that still the case? Is he really bad now after these buffs, or has the buffs saved this character? Let's go take a look at his kit and take a look at the buffs that are coming. So first things first, we got the notes. Rebalance notes for Diamant Coppercoin and Androc the Glories, who we'll get into next. First, today we're introducing a rebalance notes for Diamant Coppercoin. While Diamant Coppercoin is inherently somewhat selfish and greedy, our goal was to boost this champion's team value. Hopefully, because it seems his team's value is he has no value. It is for the collective benefit of every Ogryn, not just for you, Diamant. Funny. Now you can be confident that bringing him in will benefit all team members. Now he provides a more consistent turn meter boost, ensuring good value even when all buffs are removed. And speaking of buffs, his passive will now convert debuffs into buffs for any ally. This is certainly enough to declare I am a team player now. Don't you agree? Okay, so let's look at what we've got with Diamant Coppercoin. Charitable donation. So this skill attacks all enemies, no change. Increases the duration of all buffs by 1 turn, no change. Fills this champion's turn meter by 10%. Fills their turn meter by an additional 5% for each buff that has had its duration increased by this skill. So that's what they mean by selfish. It's all about him. But now, instead, they're getting rid of all of this and just replacing it with fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%. Actually a good skill. Every time he uses this skill, it's going to push your team up the turn meter by 20%, and that's pretty freaking huge. Next is his skill, Kingpin. Kingpin has a chance to convert debuffs into buffs before it's placed on this champion. So in other words, somebody tries to debuff Diamant, it's going to change the debuff into a buff. Now, it's not all debuffs. It's just decreased attack, decreased defense, decreased speed, crit rate, and crit damage. Just the combative debuffs. And it's going to turn them into their respective buffs. But it's just for him. Again, now it's not all about Diamant, it's all about the team. So now, instead of being a 50% chance to convert debuffs placed on him, it's going to have a chance to convert debuffs placed on any ally. So if one of your allies gets debuffed, it's going to have a 50-50 shot of changing those into buffs. Looks like the exact same buff debuff list, but yeah. Okay, that does make him more of a support hero, because this guy, yeesh, he's fast, 112 base speed, but about all he's got going for him. This kit is terrible. Now, is this enough to save him? I'll be honest with you, I'm not that impressed. It's a 50-50 shot. It's a nice passive skill. It could be useful. Half of the time it does absolutely nothing. The other half of the time, yeah, what would have been a debuff is now a buff. And his A3 skill, being a CR push, being a turn meter push, that's nice. Since he is fast, you can use this to bridge the rest of your team up. So it does make him somewhat of an opener that can bridge your other units in if you build him high speed. But that's about it. It just makes him an opener. I will give it this. It's nice to see the Ogryn tribe getting buffs, because pound for pound, the Ogryn tribe are not the easiest units to like. I mean, kit wise, of course, they're absolutely beautiful. How could, you know, who couldn't love a face like this, right? But Yeah, having an opener who can bridge your team up, push your team up, and then give you a passive way to avoid debuffs, and he gives speed to all battles. You know what? I think it's fine. Does it go far enough? We'll have to see. I think it's definitely going to be viable in Faction Wars, Faction War hard mode, but I don't think you're going to be whipping this guy out in PvP or using him in Hydra or places like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just not feeling it. I wouldn't be ready to flip the keyboard over pulling him, but at least I wouldn't be disappointed. I certainly wouldn't be 1.8 level disappointed. I think his Faction War rating is going to shoot through the roof after these buffs. But now let's take a look at the other hero. The other hero is a Banner Lord, and it's the mythical hero Androc. Androc the Glorious. Androc, what are they doing for you, my boy? Because the reviews aren't great. I mean, for a mythical to have this much red, ugh. So let's go check out what they're doing for Mr. Androc. Androc the Glorious. With this rebalance, we aim to restore the Lion's prowess, especially for his second form, while simultaneously enhancing the utility within your team compositions. With increased damage output, we anticipate his strong performance as a secondary damage dealer in various PvE locations in his second form, particularly against bosses. So they're gearing him up to be a PvE hero even more so now. Concurrently, his first form will serve as an even more resilient team defender in the arena, giving him a dual PvP and PvE usage. Nice. His revamp passives now boost the stats of all allies, while his A3 in the second form deals max HP based damage to bosses. Max HP damage is huge, especially early game where there's no damage cap on HP based damage, so it's really nice as an early game player if you luck sack into this mythical. This allows for flexible investment in his damaging stats and ignore defense sets, positioning him as a secondary damage dealer or solidifying him as a steady defense tank with protection set pieces. His passives will ensure your team benefits from additional res accuracy depending on his current form. All right, let's zoom in here and see what we've got. Base form, Pride's Bite, attacks one enemy 60% defense break. Attacks one enemy 60% defense buff on all allies. That's not changed. What has changed? Damage multiplier increased. Whenever I see damage multiplier increase, it's a big old question mark for me. How much? They increase it by 3%, they increase it by 20%. I have to wait and see if this is impactful. I mean, damage is damage, right? A buck's a buck, but we have to wait and see how much damage are we really getting out of this. Rock of Werenbur. So 50% res, 25 strength. Okay, so no change there. Additional 15% continuous heal, no change there, but also fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%. So a little bit of bridging. When he uses his Rock of Werenbur, it's going to push your team up the turn meter, up the CR bar by 15%. Help motivate your team, help speed the fight along. Let me see. Knight of the Wild. This is his passive. Okay, lots changed here. Increases the champion's res by 10 for each buff on each ally, and critical hit inflicted by the allies increase the turn meter of all allies once per skill. They are sacking the first part of this. We're keeping the second part, right? Critical hits inflicted fill turn meters. That's still in there, but we're sacking the first part and replacing with increase each allies res by 10 for each buff on all allies. So for each buff that's on an ally, everybody gets 10 res. So if you're running like an arena and you've got 3 allies on the team and each of them has 5 buffs on, it's 150 res to every single ally on the team. That's pretty nutty. Especially for fights like, where you could have 5 units, or Hydra where you could have 6. Holy crap, you take 6 units into Hydra and you get 4 buffs on each one. That's 240 effect resistance on all of your allies. That's kind of wild. You could build teams, specific teams that center around using this guy and not have to build resistance. You could almost have enough resistance just in his passive. Now, it's only in his base form. I suspect it'll change when he goes into his other form, so you gotta be aware of that, but, yeah, you could build some really nice teams centered around just this passive. I mean, forget this turn meter push and a little bit of damage. This is where the juice is. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. Well, okay, yeah, duh. For all of you guys that have multiple mythical Androcs, I guess. So, yeah, wow, you know what? I'm impressed by this. I think some chefs are going to be able to cook up some really nasty PvE teams, just sitting him in his base form and letting his passive do its work. And, you know, a little bit of turn meter pushing, a little bit of damage, a little bit of buffing. I mean, already you got like 1, 2, 3, 4 buffs right here in his kit that are going to proc into this. This is huge. And how are they going to strip or steal those buffs when you have that much resistance? Okay, I'm ready for it. Show me the alternate form of Androc the Glorious. You know, hang on, we should convert him. Here we go. Whoosh. Nice. The lion head helmet is so cool. All right, alternate form. Okay, 50% chance of 6% decreased defense buff. Same, nothing changed there. Okay, much like his Pride's Bite skill, all we're doing to Guildthorn Assault is boosting the damage. By how much? I guess we have to wait and see. Maybe some people on the test servers will be able to let us know, but for now, all we know is he's going to hit harder. And his skill, Palisade Breaker, exactly the same thing they did for Rock of Werenberg. It's the exact same skill, but it's also going to have a 15% turn meter push. And they are boosting the damage on this one because it is an attacks all enemies versus just a buffing skill. So they're boosting the damage on the on the Palisade Breaker skill as well. Roar of Kytherius. Let me see. So removes all buffs from all enemies. Instead of dealing pure damage equal to 5% of the target's health, which against non-bosses is minuscule, it's going to do a standard attacks all enemies. So that's going to help them with wave content. And if it's a boss, it's going to be a 10% HP damage deal. So they're making him better against bosses and helpful against wave content as well. Its damage cannot be a critical. They are removing the damage cannot be a critical too. So they're going to let him crit. So that's pretty huge. Places block buffs, debuff on all enemies. Okay, so he's going to strip and apply buff block. And of course, they're boosting his damage multiplier. So again, we got to see how much the man multiplier set for. So this is nice, right? It's a strip plus buff block. He's going to be able to be better at wave content. He's going to be better against hurting bosses. He's going to be allowed to crit now, so he can really ramp up the damage. We take a thing, right? Okay, his passive. His passive before was giving a boatload of effect resistance for buffs on your team. In offense mode, he gives 10 accuracy on all for each buff on all enemies. Removes all buffs from all enemies. Increases accuracy for each buff on all enemies. Why couldn't they say, increases accuracy for buffs removed for a certain number of turns or something? I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of anti-synergy here and buff block, so they'll never be able to get buffs that give you more accuracy. I like this. I think this is dog water, guys. I mean, I guess if you're you can just hold this skill to use the accuracy, but you got to accept the negative of leaving the enemy team buffed so that you can have the positive of having more accuracy. And when it comes to PvE, you typically pack all the accuracy you need for the job at hand. You go in there planning your builds and your teams around the accuracy necessary for the floor. You don't really need a boost to accuracy. I don't know, guys. I think this is just bad. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm not feeling it, guys. I'm not feeling something where you get a bonus when because your enemy has buffs, but the bonus is to your ability to debuff, and the bonus is when the enemy's buffed, but you strip buffs and you put buff block on. Guys, I don't like it. I think it's bad. I think it's bad, and Plarium should feel bad. This is not a good change. They are giving him 5 additional speed. They're increasing his base speed to 115. That's nice, of course. These damage multiplier increases are going to have to be through the hecking roof. Because all this down, you know, his passive is not doing anything for us. The strip, the buff block, the CR pushing, the turn meter pushing, the damage dealing. If this is all, if the damage dealing is through the roof, then this gives him some PvP viability, and I can see reasons to transform into alternate form. But if it's not that much damage, what is my motivation? What's my motivation for ever going into alternate form, giving up all this resistance, giving up all these buffs and the same turn meter pushings? I don't know, guys. I think this is still a mythical with only one form. Like I said, unless the damage multipliers are through the roof, in which case, sure, maybe. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But what do you guys think? I mean, you guys want to know how to build this character, though? I'll show you how to build this character. I don't have any mythical characters. I'm kidding. Someday, something good will come home. But right now, I don't have any mythicals. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this change is enough? Do you think it's going to make either of these units be high up in the usability pool? I think it's definitely going to increase their piss poor ratings, but I really like what they've done with Androc's first form. I think that's amazing, and I think you're going to be able to do some really neat things with them. Everything else just seems to be centered around making faction wars a little bit easier, maybe making Cursed City a little bit easier, but yeah, it's easy for me to sit here and doom on it because I don't have the units. If I had the units, maybe I'd be a little more invested. So those of you who have the units, let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think? Are these good changes? Is this going to breathe new life into these heroes? Because I'm kind of lukewarm on it. Anyway, good luck with your guys' fusion event. Hope you guys are having good success at getting your Tholan Foulbeard taken care of. I've got to get back into it. I've got a Fire Knight tourney to grind, and I'm a little bit behind. For those of you who are brand new to the game and want to get the best start at Raid and start out with a ton of new heroes right out of the gate, get like a big leg up over everyone else, make sure you follow these instructions. Make sure you click on the link in the description of this video to support me and my channel. Or you can scan that QR code. That works just as well. If you do this, you will get a crazy powerful start with 3 free heroes. You'll start out with the legendary hero Karato, a serious damage dealing hero. This guy drops some nukes. He is fantastic into Fire Knight. He will help carry you through some dungeons, and my God, does he drop some ungodly damage. And when you get to rank 15, at level 15, you will pick up the epic hero Ugo. Ugo is such a strong unit that many people build multiples of her. She's widely regarded as a legendary hero in epic heroes clothing. She's got defense breaks. She can bring your whole party back to life. She can heal your team. Stupid strong unit to have on your team, and you get her for free at level 15. But that's not all. Once you hit level 30, you will get onto your team Lady Annabelle, who is like having a walking, talking lifesteal set for your team right there with you. Her attacks heal your team based on the damage she's done. She can place Revive on Death on your units, and her passive heals her every time one of your teammates or an enemy's teammate dies. It is a crazy passive and a crazy unit to have on your team. And on top of all of that, make sure you go over to the promo code section. And in the promo code section, you can enter one of the many promo codes listed in the description of this video. That way, you will start out the game with 2 legendary heroes, and you will pick up 2 additional epic heroes by level 30. That's 4 free god tier units right at the start of the game. It is the perfect time to start Raid Shadow Legends. But what if you already started? What if you've played in the past? Well, what if you want to make an alt with this insane start? Or what if you want to, I don't know, maybe you downloaded it but never really played it. Now you want to give it an honest shot, but you haven't installed your computer. It's okay. It's okay. This is what you need to do. First, you're going to want to fire up your Plarium account, and then you're going to log out and uninstall the program. Once uninstalled, you're going to click the link in the description of this video on my YouTube channel, or scan that QR code. Once you do that, it's going to take you to a site where you can download Raid. You're going to register using a brand new email and then launch Raid. Complete the tutorial, and once you're in, you're in. Credo will be waiting for you right there in your inbox. Now it's time to get raiding. Grind up a little bit, get to level 15, and bam, right there in your inbox will be the epic hero Ugo. Now, 15 doesn't take too long. Just maybe a little bit of time, but now you're well established and you're ready for the big grind up to level 30. And once you hit 30, right there in your inbox once again will be that epic hero Lady Annabelle, giving you the perfectly well-rounded account. That's 2 legendary heroes and 2 epic heroes. Fantastic start for raid. You're going to be so far ahead of other people who didn't use this code. So click on that link right now. Support my channel, support yourself with the best start in raid. No better time than right now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care, Raiders.